His body was lean, still too thin, but muscular. I spoke softly to him, and his thick, stiff tail beat out a pattern slowly as he wagged just a little. The end of his tail looked to me just like a paintbrush dipped in white. As he moved his body closer to me, I slowly reached down and stroked his neck, and his fur there surprised me with how silky soft it was. My eyes met the beagle's eyes once again, and only then did I see a mark on his forehead, a white heart. I turned then to the director and said, "I want to take him home forever." Rescued. Today we recognize and we celebrate those who make a positive difference in the life of animals. I'm so grateful to those who lead and volunteer and work at rescues, like my friend Jane, who saved that sweet beagle's life. We named him Captain Jack, and he blessed our life in so many ways. I'll share right now that Jane and I often joke that after that time I said to her, "Please don't ask me for any more special blessings. I'll have a zoo in my house." If you're here today and you work or volunteer in any capacity for animal rescue, will you please lift your hand? No, we all have many friends and folks we know who do. We're also thankful today for others who give their time and talents to care for animals, for veterinarians, for vet techs, for all who work with vet animal care, for professional pet sitters, for those who work in animal shelters trying their best to find owners of lost pets or to find those who will give animals another chance for love. Those who are experts in training animals, we give thanks for today. And actually, my friend Donna at Canine Capers, who's an incredible trainer, trains service dogs and therapy dogs, including those for veterans. She explains to me that the training is not for the animal, it's for us humans. That's who she trains, really. I'm thankful for those animals who serve to protect us. Today, we're going to celebrate our friend Sammy, and some of you remember Sammy. She's a law enforcement officer for about 3 years. She told me I could share with you, and she sometimes is here on our behalf. When we want to lift up our prayers for her today and continuing for her new adventure, because right now she's spending the next 6 weeks training, I'm so excited to tell you this, with a new canine partner. And she is thrilled, and we are thrilled for her. They will learn together how to detect narcotics and track individuals who might be lost and help protect us in other ways. And I'm so proud of her, as I know that you are. And finally, I want to lift gratitude and love for anyone here who has ever rescued a dog, a cat, or another animal. If you'll please lift your hand. And so many of you have, and let's please give all of those a round of applause. Yay. Well, I'm glad you rescued it. Thank you for sharing that. God's creatures in this world have so much to teach us, don't they? When we pay attention, when we take time to observe and learn from them. One of my sheroes, Jane Goodall, died this week. And we remember her for her contributions to improving the lives and the welfare of animals. She inspired generations of people to love animals when she began to educate us about the sentient nature of primates. She was a fierce advocate for animals used in labs, especially including chimpanzees. And Goodall possessed a passion for making the world a safer, kinder, fairer place for animals. I want to share with you just a couple of her quotes because she said this much better than I could. She said, "The least I can do is speak out for those who cannot speak for themselves." And she asked us this question as we remember that Genesis passage. How is it possible that the most intellectual creature to ever walk planet Earth is destroying its own home? She's talking about us, friends. And she pointed out that chimpanzees and gorillas and other creatures lived in forests for hundreds of thousands of years and never destroyed their homes. I love this quote by her, and this is a call to action for us today. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you're going to make. The greatest danger to our future is apathy. When we consider what her work means and teaches us, then I think we might think this morning about that word rescue a little differently. So let's ask this question: who rescues whom? Who rescues whom? Especially when we bring a special animal into our homes. Our lives, our hearts, they teach us about how to comfort others. So what did they teach us about how to comfort someone beside us in need? Well, we hold their paw and sit next to them. They teach us about responsibility for the care of others. They teach us that everyone needs food and water and shelter. They teach us about joy. One of my favorite animal shirts is one that says, "Wag, and the world wags with you." And try that sometime, just out in public, do a little wag, and yes, that's going to bring them joy. They teach us about trust and forgiveness. They even teach us about grief. Rescued. I don't know about you, but what I've thought a lot about this week is that sometimes in this world, I feel as if I need to be rescued. Last Sunday's news about a horrible tragedy that happened in a place of worship. I thought and prayed on that this week. Rescued. More and more, when I read my Bible, I find myself in the Psalms. Yes, there's comfort there. Psalm 34, Yahweh is close to the brokenhearted and rescues those whose spirits are crushed. And the psalmist often lamented their situation and called out to be rescued, called out in desperation, even in anger. But I think that our entire Bible could be named that we could see it that way, as about rescue. In the Old Testament, we find story after story about how humanity struggled and failed, and God did not give up on us. Rescued. And of course, in the New Testament, Jesus' life and words and ministry and even death teaches us about rescuing those around us and about how God rescues us and will not leave even the one lost sheep behind. Who rescues whom? Every creature I've ever loved has given me so much more than I gave her or him. Elmo taught me to always carry cookies in my pocket. Clovis, my Chihuahua friend named for the first French king, always teaches me about joy, because when I come in and even as I sit through my lesson, he does this precious little hop. He wants my attention, and he's so happy that I'm there. Carson, my cat friend, inspires me to notice beauty. Bebe, the only dog I ever commissioned as a missionary, taught me about bringing comfort to others who need it just by presence, just by being with someone. My grandkitties, Raja and Jasmine and Zena and now Reese, they teach me about play and also about observation, about watching things carefully. And all my own furry family members, they, of course, most of all, as I believe yours likely do, teach me about love. For when we think about rescue, that's the greatest lesson that God's creatures teach us. It's all about the love. And when we rescue, any creature, we are loving them. It's all about the love. Amen and amen.